Blessings and peace to you. This is SB Favor Thinking Podcast, and my name is SB Favor. How are you doing today? It is Thursday already. Wow, this week is going by so fast. It's Thursday, May 4th, 2023. Another wonderful day and another day to be thankful. Yes, it is. It's another day to be thankful. It's another day to focus on what is good. It is another day to project something good to happen so that you can enjoy and experience the manifestation of all that is good. So focus on what is good, because I always say this at the beginning of every episode. If you focus on what is good, you can experience the good. But if you focus on the negative things, you are actually drawing the negative things to you. So reap the benefits of focusing on what is good. It is important to do that. It is important to maintenance your mind as much as you can to project positive thoughts and not negative thoughts. No matter how you feel, you can project positive thoughts. Unfortunately, get negative thoughts, that's just part of our human nature, but you don't have to stay in that space and just constantly think negative. So focus on what is good. Focus on the things that give you joy. Focus on the things that give you peace. Focus on all the things that just helps you to be a better you. So focus on what is good. I hope that and pray that everyone will and is having a good, excellent Thursday. I pray that all is well. I pray that you walk through your day with absolute peace. And if you are out there traveling about, make sure that you keep yourself safe, keep your family members safe, keep yourself focused, and say a prayer if you need to. Or when you get in your car, just say a quick prayer. Doesn't hurt to do that. And make sure you wash those hands and use your hand sanitizer, because guess what? People are still becoming ill. So just do your part to stay safe and keep your family members safe. And if you would like to give to the podcast, you can give at Cash App, $SB Favor. Or you can give at Venmo at SB Favor. That's the @ with SBFAVOR at Venmo. I thank you so much for your support and your donations. For those of you that have given to the podcast, I appreciate you. Well, my topic for this episode is how to manage when you are feeling overwhelmed. I decided to talk about this topic because I was talking to a friend of mine, and we were talking briefly about in the moment when you actually feel overwhelmed. What do you do? What do you do when you are feeling overwhelmed? Do you just sit there and ride out those feelings, or do you immediately do something about it? Well, in my life personally, in times past, I have done all I've known to do to to get past those feelings of feeling overwhelmed, because it's not a good feeling, of course, right? It's a feeling of just being under a lot of pressure, and you don't have to sit in that space and not do anything. You can do something about it to shift that emotion into something that's more pleasurable. Feeling overwhelmed is considered to be something that is common because it's caused by a variety of factors. It could be caused by work, family, relationships, health, and several different types of life events. It is important to acknowledge and address feelings of being overwhelmed. It's important to acknowledge it, because if you don't talk about it and you just hold it in, that's not healthy. Feeling overwhelmed can affect your mental health and your physical health. Because guess what? You know, I'm sure you know, listeners, every time we are happy, we release good hormones, endorphins. And when we are stressed, we release toxic hormones. That's something to study and learn more about, because that's an interesting topic. The hormones in our body, what we release when we are happy and what we release when we are stressed. And feeling overwhelmed is not a good feeling. It is a stressful feeling. So when an individual is feeling overwhelmed, they are actually releasing toxic hormones. That's why it can affect your physical health and sadly your mental health. So you have to talk about it. You have to acknowledge when you feel overwhelmed. It is important in that moment when you know that you are feeling overwhelmed, take a break. If you take a break from what is making you feel that way, once you identify with it, once you know in that moment you are feeling overwhelmed, take a break. Take a break, take a walk, read a book, do something that can relax you. Do something that can help you to feel better. Personally, I pause for a second and I meditate or I pray. Or sometimes in times past, I've even started exercising. Yeah. Because if you are feeling overwhelmed and you just stay in that space and you don't do anything, then what happens is it can become worse. And you don't want that. You don't want to take on those feelings and just sit there and not do anything. You know it doesn't feel good. You know that you're feeling all of this pressure because of whatever you are going through. And so you don't want to stay in that space. You want to do something about it to bring yourself some relief. So taking a walk, reading a book, or doing some type of relaxing activity, that can help to relieve the feelings of feeling overwhelmed. You also can practice taking deep breaths. Deep breathing is called. You know, you can reduce the feelings of stress by taking a slow, deep breath, and at the same time, as you inhale and exhale, focus so that you can promote a sense of feeling calm. So take a deep breath, but don't sit in the feelings of being overwhelmed. Make a list of everything that is causing you to feel overwhelmed, because if you don't understand what is making you feel that way, then how can you know what to eliminate? So make a list of those things that are making you feel overwhelmed. Because if you make that list, you can break it down and also decide how to manage it. Because we have to manage stress. We have to manage stress so that we can take care of ourselves. Another tip is engage in self-care. Self-care is so important every single day. We have to give ourselves different types of self-care. Of course, we all know getting enough rest and sleep is a part of self-care. Eating a good, well-balanced diet, that is self-care. Spending time relaxing just to get away from the pressure, just to get away from feeling overwhelmed, that is helpful. Also, It is important when you acknowledge what is going on and you sort it all out. It's important also for your mental health to talk to someone. Of course, you can talk to a friend, a family member, and if it's something that you feel that's on another level, then talk to a mental health professional about how you feel. Because feeling overwhelmed and taking on that feeling to the point where it's just becoming worse and the stress level is not being relieved, then you need to do something about it. You need to talk to a mental health professional. And lastly, you can simplify your life. If you simplify your life, that can eliminate the feeling of being overwhelmed. That can eliminate it. Sometimes you have to tell people no. Sometimes you cannot commit to everything that comes to you to be a part of or to do or whatever. You can't commit to everything. Sometimes you have to tell people no. Sometimes you have to delegate tasks to others so that you can free up your time and so that you can have time to do what is best for you. Because walking around stressed out and feeling overwhelmed, it is not healthy. It is not good for us mentally or physically. We must care for ourselves correctly every single day. Because if we are not properly caring for ourselves, then how can we as individuals help somebody else? So manage how you feel, manage your emotions, manage your stress, and make sure that you recognize that anytime when you are feeling like you're under a lot of pressure, or if you feel like you are overwhelmed, you're being overwhelmed or overwhelmed in any kind of way, just stop. Just stop what you're doing. Take a deep breath. Acknowledge what is going on. And do it without becoming upset. And I know that's easier said than done. But you have to acknowledge what is going on and do it without allowing yourself to become frustrated. Do it without allowing yourself to become impatient with others. Allow yourself to walk through those feelings, talking about it, understanding what it is, and then managing it. Because if you are feeling overwhelmed, it's so easy to just become frustrated and upset with others for no reason, just because you're feeling a certain way. Now you're becoming upset with others. And you don't want to do that. Just because you're annoyed, now you want to make everybody else miserable. You don't want to do that. When you are feeling overwhelmed, take a break. Practice deep breathing. Make a list of what's making you feel overwhelmed, so that you can know what it is. Engage in self-care. Talk to someone if you have to, and simplify your life. Sometimes you could be feeling overwhelmed because you keep saying yes to everybody. Sometimes you could be bringing that pressure on yourself because you don't know when to sit down. You don't know when to just say, okay, let me relax today. I know some of us, we don't know how to just pause. We're always doing something, right? If you got kids and a family, you're always doing something. right? And there's nothing wrong with being diligent. There's nothing wrong with being consistent and disciplined and all that good stuff. There's nothing wrong with that. But when you are constantly moving around and doing stuff, and then all of a sudden you feel that pressure of, this is too much. Sometimes it might not even be too much. It's just that you are doing too much in the moment. So just pace yourself and focus on that place of peace and calm within yourself so that you can eliminate feeling overwhelmed. Feeling overwhelmed, unfortunately, it is something that can just break a person down if you don't pay attention to what is going on. Because many of us, we only can take but so much. And when the pressure comes to you, you have to make a conscious decision in the moment to think about your health. And you can practice being calm, and you can practice being still and focused, and you can meditate, and you can pray, and you can do all the things to just make yourself feel better. Because if you're one of those people and you are feeling overwhelmed and you just keep going and going and going, and to the point where now you're just mad at everybody and you are frustrated, and now you want to slam stuff around, and now you want to pick up the phone and be nasty to somebody, and you want to leave your house and then go be nasty to the person at the grocery store, that is not right. Because you are under a lot of pressure and you're feeling overwhelmed. Guess what? It means you're not paying attention. If you do all of that, if you are making others feel miserable because you are feeling overwhelmed, if you're doing that, that means you are not paying attention to yourself. So pay attention. Pay attention enough to do something about it, because you do not have to sit in a space of constantly feeling overwhelmed. Earlier this week, I had a stressful day. I was reading a lot of material for work, and I mean, I just felt this stress, this feeling of pressure. It came on me, and all of a sudden I just said, okay, all right, I gotta pray. So I just stopped what I was doing and I just started praying, and I prayed and I prayed and I prayed, and then I just took a deep breath. And once I talked to God and like I said, I took those deep breaths, after that, I was fine. Because feeling overwhelmed is not healthy. It's a feeling. And you can do something about it if you are paying attention. So pay attention to how you feel, and pay attention to any level of feeling overwhelmed, because there are levels to it. Sometimes you could be feeling overwhelmed just a little bit. And even in that little bit, you still can do something about it. Don't wait till you get to the point where you're feeling overwhelmed, where you feel like you just need to break a glass or something. You don't want to do that. You don't want to do that. If you are feeling overwhelmed just a little bit, do something about it. I gave you all those tips. And out of all the tips that I gave you, the most important one for me is prayer and meditation. Because I can journal, and I can exercise, and I can talk to somebody about how I'm feeling. But for me, prayer is the most vital one that has been the most helpful, because in the moment of feeling overwhelmed, I was able to become more alert and more conscientious of what I was feeling. after I prayed about it. Once I was able to think about it, I said, wow, I can't allow myself to feel like that. So I hope that this information that I am giving to you today, I hope that it's helpful. I pray that you will use it in some type of way or share it with someone else. If none of this applies to you, I'm sure you know someone that can use this information, because feeling overwhelmed is a common experience. It's something that we all have experienced sometime in our life. And like I said, it's levels to it. It's levels to it. So don't think that just because it's just a little bit pressure or a little bit of stress that it won't elevate to a different level. Don't think that won't happen, because it can. And so you got to identify that stress so it don't get to a place that is totally unhealthy for you. We got to care for ourselves to be an asset for someone else. And we got to care for ourselves, because caring for yourself is self-love. And caring for yourself, as I stated in the last episode, caring for yourself is all a part of maintaining your thoughts and taking care of your inward parts, which is your spirit and your heart and your mind. Because we dress up the outside, but we also must take care of the inside. So, on that note, I am going to conclude this episode. I thank you so much for listening to SB Favorite Thinking Podcast. If you need to reach me, you can reach me at sbfavor@yahoo.com via email. You can also find me on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at SBFavor. I also have a YouTube channel. Please click like, leave me some feedback, and please make sure you share this podcast with others. Subscribe to the channel as well. You can also subscribe to me wherever you listen to podcasts. Thank you so much for listening. And once again, if you would like to give to the podcast, you can give at Cash App, $SBFavor, or you can give at Venmo at SBFavor. Thank you so much for your donations and your support. You have a good day.